welcome to the latest edition of the Trundlebed Tales videos in the Kitchen with Laura series. And today we're not going to be talking about food, but we're going to talk about another thing that was very important in the kitchen, and that was light, specifically the kerosene lamp. Now today I have my co-host here, Dash.
Hi.
And he's going to help me show you about the lamp. Now, first off, let's just take a step back and go to the first book in the series. And in Little House, they talk about having a tin punch lantern like this, where there would just be a candle inside this, and the little lights would come out of the holes. But as Laura goes on and the series continues, they start talking more and more about kerosene lamps. And a kerosene lamp looks like this. They talk about the scene where Laura is filling up the bowl of the kerosene lamp, and she uses up all the extra kerosene and then says out loud without thinking, oh, we should have told Pa to get more kerosene. And they actually do end up running out of kerosene before the winter's over. So let's go ahead and we're going to see the three main parts of a kerosene lamp. Now the design changes a little bit, but this is the basic idea. All right, so what's part one?
This is the chimney.
And then
this is the wick. With
the burner around it. The wick is the woven cloth that actually burns.
And this is the bowl.
Right.
Where the felt in the lamp oil goes.
So in the bottom here, you can use real kerosene, or a lot of people today use lamp oil. It burns the same. And we're going to go ahead and put some. Okay, I'm going to hold the funnel, and Dash is going to pour some in for us. Okay, I think that's enough. All right.
How about a little more?
I think it's good. And hold on, in the book, they talk about wanting the lamp oil to be red. Now today you can actually buy lamp oil in a whole bunch of colors, including red. In fact, that's why it's kind of red now, is because the last batch we had was red and it's got a little bit of the stain left. But we're using the clear today. But they talk about in the books taking red felt and cutting off a piece, and then you would put the pieces in here, and you can't actually put them in, it doesn't hurt. You want to put them in? Okay, go ahead, Dash. And the reason why they would do that is because back then the material, the dye in the material was not color fast. And what do we learn what color fast was? Color fast is when the color stays in the dye, or the dye stays in the cloth, so and that if the
color would stay on there and it wouldn't go away.
And it wouldn't go into the bowl. That's right. So it does you absolutely no good to put it in today. But if you use red lamp oil, feel free to put little pieces of felt in there, even though it isn't going to do anything, because it'll look like you're doing what Laura did. Now we have the burner in here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the wick, because this is one of the things Laura talks about in her books, in her later books, is she talks about having to trim the wick. And what that means is you're going to trim off the part, the part that had already been burned. And you can actually cut it a couple different ways. Do you want to show us the different ways, Dash? On the slate? So there are different ways you can trim your wick. You don't want to cut it straight across, because that doesn't get you a good clean light. You want to either kind of cut it rounded or in a straight triangle in the center like I did, or you can cut it in two triangles. And now this one actually gets you the most light, because two flames close together give a lot more light than two flames separately. So. No, it's okay. It's a little harder to cut that way too. So what we're going to do now, oh, and I almost forgot, the other part is after you have burnt the lamp, you need to make sure that you have trimmed the wick so it's ready to go next time, that you have it full, and that you've cleaned the chimney. And how you clean a chimney, go ahead and put that to the side. When you clean the chimney, what you're going to do, yes, I'm going to make you clean it. He says this like he hasn't done it before. So what you're going to do is take a clean, soft cloth, and you're going to reach in and you're going to scrub off the smoke, because what happens if you don't clean it is the glass gets all black and you can't see the light. Okay. And you should also be careful, especially when you're moving a lamp, because it is real easy for these chimneys to fall off. That's one of the good reasons to have a lantern instead of a lamp if you're going to be moving. Because let me tell you, your father broke more than a couple of these when we used to work at Usher's Ferry and clean them all the time. Can you believe that?
No.
Well, he did. Okay, I think that's clean enough. So just hold on to that for a second. And the other thing we're going to talk about is how high you have the wick up, because the flame's going to be brighter if you have the wick higher, but it also is going to make it more smoky so that your chimney will get dirtier quicker and it'll be harder to see in the long run. So, Dash, do you want to go get the studio lights for us, please?
Yes.
And we're going to take one of our matches here and light the wick. And now I'm going to turn it down. And then we're going to put the chimney on it because that'll make it brighter. I think I need to adjust it up again just a little bit. And there you go. You've got a kerosene lamp. Thanks to Dash and our cameraman and our clapperboard girl and everyone who helped put this production together. Remember to brighten the corner where you are and come back next time for another episode of Trundlebed Tales.